Hello everybody, it's me, your favorite Pegasus, Valtteri here, and today we're here to see... Which one of you morons left the door open? Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's me, your favorite astronaut Valtteri here. And today we're here to expand our horizons on the fiction's world. Going now from the Loud House to My Little Pony. I have to admit here, I was honestly impressed. When I was idealizing this video, I thought about the fact that the MLP fandom is recognized online by having a whole lot of degenerates. You know the people I'm talking about here. Like there's a forum dedicated entirely for MLP on 4chan. That's the level of community we're talking about. I thought to myself, well, given the circumstances, it shouldn't be so hard to find some weird fan comics between the MLP fandom, right? Right? Not only I was wrong, but actually the MLP fandom, besides having so many problems with its weirdos, is very competent when it comes to their fan works, at least the most of them. It was almost impossible to find something as awful as incest or necrophilia between those guys. I swear. So I stopped and thought about how we're almost 600 subscribers and what led me here. Yes, it's loud sex, but think more deeply into it. What's the thing that me, other creators that made videos about Rewrite the Stars, and even you guys concluded? The writing was good, so why not step backwards to the finding some strange shit and step forward into finding something that is actually well written and entertaining? That brought us here today. We're here to see this MLP fan comic that mixes with Doctor Who. Yes, it's a strange concept, but hear me out for a second. Recall the Time of No Return is a fan comic created by Gashi Boka? Alright, on DeviantArt and Patreon as well. The story evolves around the main six. Yes, I know the concept of the main six. Yes, I know their names. No, I'm not a brony. Alongside with Doctor Who's. And Roseluck traveling 1,000 years from the beginning of Season 4 into future to meet a Tyranny Twilight Sparkle. This comic counts with something between 8 or 9 chapters. I don't know, the wiki seems unupdated. But that means that this comic is actually finalized. We can have a potential series here. Start, middle, and an ending right here. As far as I'm aware, this is considered a very good comic and some of the best fanfictions within the fandom. But we don't care about the others' opinions. We are here to make our own perception of how good something can be. Before we go, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment what you think about this video and comic in general. I really hope y'all like this, for I'm excited about this, honestly. Might be good having some good experience with a fanfiction after death. But let's not waste any time. Brace yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see the comic. We began this comic with Pinkie Pie asking what about the future from that point in time. As we see Fluttershy asking her what she meant, Applejack mentions that they were talking about Twilight's birthday just now. Pinkie then says that this is exactly the point, for this needs to be very special. After all, it's her first birthday since she became a princess, and Pinkie can't really allow it to be any ordinary party for such a special day. So after thinking on it, she realizes that she can think of anything. So she had to think outside the box and came up with a brilliant idea. Time travel. Since Twilight's gonna live for so long, they're gonna be long gone by then. So why not travel to the future to her 1000th birthday? Heretic questions what about this party for this birthday? But Pinkie just says that it's not important. They're gonna be with Twilight on her birthday anyway. Fluttershy comments that they don't have a time machine, and as Pinkie tries to come up with a solution, we get to see some noises coming from the outside. And Pinkie comments on she having an idea, as the rest of the main six are wondering what's going on. Seeing the outside, we have a phone call box of Doctor Who's. Wait, Who's? Is that right? Yes? Yes, it is. Doctor Who's is a former background character in the series made to reference Guess Who. He appeared here and there during some episodes of the series, always doing something random. I'm not really sure, but I guess that eventually he became so popular to the point of receiving a full episode. I'm not a brony! Up to the next page, we see another character called Roseluck, picking from the door and calling for Who's, saying that it seems they're back in the present time, calling this the end of their journey and asking what he was reading. No, I don't know how those two lines of dialogue connect together, but let's continue. Who says that the book is something he borrowed from ancient Equestria, called The Origins and Biological Characteristics of Alicorns. He gives a brief summary of what an alicorn is, saying that these species are ponies with the characteristics of all three most common kinds of ponies: Earth ponies, Pegasi, and unicorns, with the ability to manipulate psionic energy and an immortal lifespan in theory. If you think this is some kind of OC made by a 12-year-old because of how powerful those things look, I wouldn't blame you. But this is canon. I'm not even kidding. This is absolutely canon. You can look it up on the internet. Roseluck gets the doctor's intentions, asking if he wants to investigate the new princess. Hooves almost can't confirm before getting interrupted by Pinkie Pie, busting the door open, getting both Hooves and Roseluck to the ground in shock. Speaking of, they both question on how did she get in, to which she responds, saying that the door was open, as we see that the other main five are there as well. Roseluck apologizes, but Hooves say that it's not her fault. Tardies let them in. Rose even wonders on why's that, to which Doc responds saying that he doesn't know either, and that will require some investigation. He says it as he invites the rest of the ponies to get in as well, which they do, getting surprised by what is that place. After introducing himself and Rose, he asks how they feel being inside Tardies so far. They all had some different responses, but all of them are pretty in character. Doc comments with Rose that this is why he thinks ponies are boring. It's very hard to impress. Nothing ever seems to surprise. And then he directs his words to the main cast, asking what brought them there in the first place. Pinkie says that they're planning to travel 1,000 years into the future to meet the future version of their friend on her birthday. Doc gets confused at first, asking for them to repeat. Harity then reinforces that they want to go to the future, the 1000th birthday of Twilight. Hooves asks if she knows about it, and when Rainbow Dash asks what he said, he backs off and says that he strongly recommends against this. All of them ask for the reason for this, and Fluttershy questions if something awful is going to happen in the future. Dr. Hooves then confirms, saying that it's not exactly the same peaceful Equestria they know. They probably won't be in the mood for the party in there. And Twilight changed a lot during those 1000 years. She's different from what they are expecting, but certainly they shall be disappointed all the same. He finalizes asking if they are okay with this, to which they say that it's better if they don't. Of course they accept it, otherwise we wouldn't have a story here, would we? He even asks a second time, but they seem confident about it. He says that he has no choice then. That's actually not true. I mean, you're the one in the control of the machine here, so yes, I'm trying to find logic in My Little Pony fanfic. I do deserve a vacation, I guess. As we see them traveling, we got a brief dialogue between Pinkie and Harity, where Pinkie is asking what is Twilight up to in the future. But then we gotta focus on Roseluck. She's thinking to herself, what is Doctor thinking? That until we get a scene of Applejack asking to talk to the Doctor for a minute. The Doctor accepts, as long as it's nothing difficult to answer. Applejack mentions that the thing they said before is bugging her since then, and asks if they know something about the future. The Doctor confirms, saying that he and Rose traveled to the distant future several times. Apple asks him to tell her about it, and how's Twilight doing in the future. He then starts to explain the story of what happened in the future. After the Age of Sun, the Age of Stars began, and Empress Twilight became the new ruler of Equestria. Since then, she was taking control of the sun, the moon, the stars, and everything else on the planet. She is known as a wise mare who knows all, a powerful wizard who has mastered every known spell, and a mighty warrior with a will of steel. Upon questions about that warrior part, asking if Twilight has become a warrior, but Doctor clarifies, saying that she got this title during her 973rd year of her reign, after a glorious victory over the forces of Crimson Changelings. For those who don't know, Changelings are a race of something? I think there are aliens in the show, but I'm not sure. Their whole gimmick is that they are capable of changing their appearance to those of other ponies. They're often referred as a common threat, and if I'm not wrong, they first appeared in a special episode or in a movie. My lack of knowledge in this show should prove that I'm not a brony, right? Right? Saving Equestria from what would otherwise be a massacre. Apple then says that since she won, it should be no problem at all, asking why They hesitate at first if that's the case. Doctor tries to play dumb, asking if he did, but Applejack confronts him, asking if they're hiding something. They made it seem like Equestria isn't peaceful at all. But according to that story, the war is already over. But before Apple gets to continue, something with the... How do I call this place they are in? A machine? Ship? Something in this thing seems off. That whatever this thing is at the middle is starting to get weird. And no one seems to know what's happening. Not even the doctor. He even thinks that Pinky touched the control panel without his permission. But she denies. She says that she was just looking for a perfect present for Twilight, as she pulls up a giant gift from her hair. The doctor says that what she really did was to open a wormhole to a pocket dimension inside TARDIS, which happens to overload TARDIS if someone does that. How? I'm not even gonna make questions that don't have an answer. As everyone gets in panic, except Pinky, we see that they're falling to the ground. And when they finally reach it, we see that Rose is the first to leave, calling this the worst ride ever. The rest of the group follows, as Pinky is asking Rose if she and Dr. Who's have fun adventures like this all the time, to which she responds that it's not usually like this. Doctor mentions that it seems like they are in the right time period, but he doesn't know where. Rainbow Dash offers to take a quick look from upwards, as Fluttershy comments on how red the sky is, guessing it's getting pretty late. Doctor says that it's still midday. Apple even questions if he's sure about it, because it looks like the sun is setting to her. Doctor then explains that in this era, the day and night cycle doesn't exist anymore. There's only dusk and darkness. He's not sure why, but the power of Empress Twilight is weakened during this time period. Applejack then directs her words for Rainbow Dash on the sky, asking if she found a way to go. Dash says that she found a way, but she doesn't know how to explain this. She says it as we are presented with a sight of what I suppose it's a shadow of a castle on the background, finalizing the first chapter of this comic. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was the first chapter of this comic. It seems pretty good so far, honestly. It isn't very noob-friendly, but we're talking about some fanfiction here. People who usually read this tend to know the original material and therefore have more context, and it leads to these stories not having to need to give previous introduction to some aspects of the world or how it works. So this is kinda expected. But don't worry, my little space travelers, you have me. I can give you the context you need based on what I know and what is written on the MLP wiki. Shout out to whoever writes this, you're making my life easier. Overall, the story seems interesting so far. I saw one thing or two about the other parts of the comic and it tends to get better and better. Like, we have some Wootron type of villain here. But I'm not gonna spoil this for you guys. That's it for today, everyone. Remember that if you like this type of content, please leave a like. If you think that I'm doing a good job by reading this, subscribe. And if you have something to say or even other ideas of comics or other type of media that you want me to talk about, don't be shy. Leave a comment down there. The next video won't be about any fandom fan work. It's an original thing, but it seems to be very interesting. Although, for now, I must go. Captain's gonna kick me out of the ship if I don't make my chores, so... See you later, Space Wanderer. Where am I? Oh no.